Hi, everyone. I'm Ray Richmond, the news and features editor at Gold Derby, and I'm here with Gabrielle Dennis, the actress who stars as Cass in the Apple TV Plus comedy sci-fi mystery series, The Big Door Prize, that premiered back in March on the streamer. Gabrielle, before we get to your work on The Big Door Prize, let's talk about how you're just rocking it in your career right now. You're starring in two series, also including a Black Lady sketch show. And recurring on the upshots, can you let some of the other actresses have a little work too, please?
You know what it is? I discovered that I've always felt I was very much so like invisible and like one of the people that people don't remember. So that I try to use that as my superpower, and it's been working for the past few years. I've been kind of like under the radar. No one now they're starting to notice. Like, wait a minute, you're everywhere. Yeah, it's been a blessing. Like I've been putting in the work, and it's just kind of one of those things where everything's just kind of it's a feast or famine situation. I've always found in my career, either everyone's calling or no one's calling.
That's how it works. Yeah, I know it's either nothing or yeah, you have to juggle six things. But seriously, it's enormously impressive for you to be so thriving as a performer. Congrats on that. You've worked crazy consistently now for almost 2 decades, it seems. You memorably played Whitney Houston in the Bobby Brown story, and you got an NAACP Image Award nom for that. Congrats on that. But we're here to talk about the Big Door Prize, which looks like it was an awful lot of fun to work on. Um,
Oh, so much.
Sorry about that. For those who haven't discovered it yet, it's about a small town called Deerfield, where everyone's life gets turned upside down after the mysterious arrival in the general store of a machine that promises to reveal the user's life potential. And you play Cass, the wife and mother on the series. You give a terrific performance.
Oh.
Talk about what attracted you to want to play this role, Gabrielle, and what you found interesting about it when she started playing.
I just love that it's just different than anything I've gotten a chance to do and really like sink my teeth in as like the leading lady of this television comedy, little dramedy action. But obviously Chris O'Dowd being attached, I'm a huge fan of him. He's an amazing talent. So to be able to work with the likes of him and to dive into a television series based off of a novel that has like a little bit of like all of the things are mixed in there. It's a nice little mixed melting pot of comedy, a little drama, some mystery, magic, a little sci-fi action. So for me, it was just fun to be able to play in this world of Deerfield and just, I don't know, go down this really magical journey. So for me, it was just fun to just dive in, and knowing, like I said, that it was based on a novel was really interesting as well. Even though I did not read the novel because I was afraid, I knew that there was some major differences. So I was afraid to kind of like read the wrong thing and be misguided in a way. But yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, and you and Chris O'Dowd have crazy great chemistry on the show,
Thank
um,
you.
which I'm sure was one of the reasons you got cast. Cass is this dreamer, I guess, on the show and unfulfilled, and sees the machine as sort of being indicative of there being something bigger out in the world for her. While Dusty, played by Chris, seems to be content as a family man and school teacher, at least at first. Not so much as we go along. Uh, but in short, you're into this machine, and he ain't, right?
Yeah, they're polar opposites of each other. And David West Reed, our creator, our wonderful EP and showrunner, and all of the great, amazing hats that he wears on our show, he likened it to Cass and Dusty's character being mirror images in a way of the townspeople and like what the town is going through. It's kind of like this this synergy and energy that's been like erupted, and now there's like this earthquake line that's going in between these two people, where one person, like you said, is totally on board of going on this journey and is fascinated by this new experience, and the other person's a little shaken to the core. So it's our town's going through its own marital problems, I guess. It kind of feels like it's like something, someone shaking the snow globe for sure, and it's just a lot of chaos that's been going on, and seeing how everyone in the town, one way or the other, how they interact with this machine, how they interact with their potential. And I always say that I'm happy that our show is a comedy, because when you think about like potential, and depending on where you are in life and like where you are in age and how society puts like these stigmas and these these time tickers on us as we age. The show could get very dark and heavy with these existential themes, right? So I love it that it is surrounded in some comedy and some lighthearted moments, and that the audience gets to laugh a lot at us, and makes it not as daunting.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark comedy, but you're right. It leavens everything with laughs, and that's what you have to have. Because you're right. Otherwise it's going to be so dark for everyone. Everybody watching is going to be thinking the same thing, because all of us kind of go through life with a little bit of insecurity, no matter how successful we are. What do you think the show's trying to say about human nature and society?
For one thing, I know we are definitely followers. Like I will admit I am a follower, a true follower. And I think with the machine, a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's asking for, all of this personal information. I wouldn't dare do that. There's a few people that are out there that are definitely skeptics, right? Myself included. Like at first, I'm just like, would I try this machine? I definitely wouldn't like be the first in line to do it. But when you think about it, David points out all the time, like the thing that we hold in our hand on a daily basis is full of all of our personal information. Like we are like sheep in a way that we all always want to be a part of. We don't want to miss out, right? It's just kind of like this human experience show where no one wants to miss out on that experience, to learn a little bit more about themselves, to hopefully grow. And giving up our personal information into this machine is really likened to all these apps that we have on our phone, everything from bank information to if you have an app with one of your frequent flyer situations. Like there's so much information that we store in that little machine. And the Morpho machine is just kind of a bigger version of that, a little more in your face. And I think a lot of times when we're on social media and we're like following certain people or companies or whatever, we're looking for hope. We're looking for some kind of inspiration in a way. And I think this Morpho is just a little more literal in that sense of like, here's your life potential, and what are you going to do about it? And I think that's something that we all have a little hope in us, that we seek to find. We seek for those arrows to point us in the right directions in life. And I think that's a lot of what this show is about.
Yeah, and you're right. The Morpho, it's interesting, asks all these broad philosophical questions about existence, and that coexists alongside this tone that's so, as we said, so offbeat and comedic at its core. But you guys really seem to have kind of hit the zeitgeist at just the right time, because with everybody talking about AI and artificial intelligence and everything, it really plays along that whole stream very well. I mean, it's almost identical to that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's scary. It could be a scary. Technology is such this amazing, beautiful entity, but also it's dangerous. In every sci-fi movie or action movie or superhero movie, it's that technology. Someone gets the wrong hands, get on it, and kaboom, right? So we're in this world, in this time, in this space where, like, with the writer strike that's happening now, and like a huge thing of their argument is about the AI. And you've seen these videos online of like these deep fakes. I saw one with like Tom Cruise, like, you couldn't have told me. You had to sit me down and explain to me what a deep fake was. So we're in this world where technology is such this huge monster, and we're looking at it now of like, what have we created, as a society? So it's a little frightening. So it kind of really, like you said, the show is kind of on the pulse a little bit of that, which lends itself to some of the mystery of it. It's like, where could we possibly go in the future seasons with this show? It really has really long legs.
Well, and just to play right off of that, it didn't take long for Apple to renew the Big Door Prize for season 2. I think it took about a week, maybe 10 days, before you got renewed.
We were filming, I started filming in January. So we were well into season 2 before we even knew when season 1 was going to air. We didn't have an air date yet. So Apple has been very supportive and excited about our series from day one. And it's a testament, I think, to David West Reed and like his pedigree. And just I think the casting has done such an amazing job of putting a great core of an ensemble together who really plays well off of each other. And I feel like everyone has been perfectly cast and kind of plays a role and fits into these perfect little niches in our show. So I don't know. I'm happy that Apple's excited. Season 2 was definitely a nice journey. It's like a weight off your shoulders as all of the people that are involved with the show is like, oh my gosh, we're not worrying about a season 2. So promoting season one and like diving into that was just that much more exciting because we knew like, ooh, we got some more coming for you.
So did you guys you've already launched into filming season 2?
Oh, we wrapped. We
It's
finished.
wrapped. It's done. Wow.
Yeah, we wrapped. I wrapped May 1st, literally, while the whole writer strike conversation was happening on. So yeah, we're done. Season 2 is in the can.
Well, and just in terms of keeping everybody motivated, all the critical raves for the show probably didn't hurt. I
I
think,
know.
yeah,
We're
the
so grateful.
critic for TV Guide called it one of the best comedy debuts in years. Did you see that?
I
And
did.
that had to feel good. I mean, to be on such a buzzy show that was a hit
It
straight out of the box.
Yeah, it felt great. I think we saw that article when we were at we premiered at South by Southwest, and we were all together, and we were in the van. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this article is amazing!" So it feels good when the critics, who this is what they make their living of, like understanding and breaking down television and film for like audiences that they know lean on them for their advice and their opinion. So it feels good when you kind of get a little pat on the shoulder for the hard work that you've done. So we were very excited about it.
You've been on a lot of shows though, and a lot of, I think, shows that have gotten critical raves. How does this feel different being on a streaming show like this? I mean, is it a similar experience to what you've had in the broadcast world?
It feels slightly different in the sense that I feel like it doesn't feel from I guess a promotion standpoint. Like someone said they saw a commercial the other day. Like I haven't seen it. I don't really watch as much TV as I could, like where you see advertising, but it feels something about the audience feels more intimate with the streamer for some reason. You would think it would be the opposite of that because it streams to so many people, but like when I get to speak with people in person or like on social media, on Twitter and whatnot, something about it feels a little more intimate. And I don't really know how to explain it, but people love the show. People love Apple. They love I love that they're putting us on this list of like this consistent run that Apple has had of really, really great shows. So that feels great.
Yeah, I mean, to be compared like alongside Ted Lasso and shows like that, and I guess that Apple also has Shrinking.
Yeah.
Um, you guys, they're really starting to build a reputation, and you guys are part of that now.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
find do
great.
you find that your friends and family and colleagues and stuff, do they watch things on streaming the same way they did in broadcasting cable? Is it a different experience for them?
I don't know. I feel like some people did just, I'm like, I have this new thing out and some people just want to wait. They're like, look, I know you guys are on episode 6 or whatever, but people just nowadays, they like to binge. They like to have their Saturday or Sunday, whatever their little special day, and just sit and like knock out a bunch of episodes at once. And I think it speaks to a lot of how much television there is out right now. Like, 10 years ago, there was not this huge, vast world of options. We're very spoiled as an audience now because we have so many choices, but it's a beautiful thing that we get to see such a variety of stories, such a variety of genres. And we get to share and talk about them on social media. And like, you see people all the time, like, I need some news recommendations. And like, people are really quick to like chime in and like provide that information for folks. So it's been great. I think friends and family have just been, and myself included, have just kind of loved the idea of having options, and not having to constantly wait for Wednesday night or Friday night or Sunday night, for your favorite show. Because sometimes your schedule doesn't allow that. So it's great to be able to record things or to stream things. So I think it's a great thing.
And you're only on 3 shows now, right, Gabrielle? So when are you going to add a fourth one, slacker? Jesus.
I think now I can slow down. It's like the Big Door Prize has definitely been a blessing in my life in so many ways, creatively, and obviously in a career space, but also financially, it's put me in a space where I don't have to do as many jobs. So people are always like, "You're always there." I was like, because I have to be. So I feel like I'm kind of now in a space where I want to focus a little bit more on the creative because I actually went to college for TV production. So I really want to, at one point, my dream was to own my own production company and studio and like create family friendly content. So maybe I can start going down that lane as well, where I can take a seat back and like rest my laurels a little bit on the acting side, because Cass will hopefully keep me busy for a couple of years.
So you'd like to step back a little bit though and do production. I know you directed something too.
Yeah, I got a chance to do one of the inaugural years for Kevin Hart and the Sundance Institute. They had this thing called Women Write Now, spelled WRITE, and it was this program to promote and to find women writers. And what I loved about it, it wasn't like a one-time one thing. You know, they get to screen and air at premiere at the Sundance Festival, which unfortunately our first year was during the pandemic, so it was virtual. But they win a is it called a production deal or something, where they basically get to pitch these ideas, and they get like a real, like, their careers really get to flourish. And that's what I love, is it's not just a one-stop shop situation, and they really are honing these writers and developing their careers and their futures, which is amazing. So I did get to direct one of those, you know, and I've written a couple of things. Like the first paid writing job that I had went to Tribeca, and we won that. So that was nice. And yeah, I still want to act, obviously, and I still have those obligations with the two shows that I'm on now. But I do want to start just exploring my options and like spreading my wings, because I think that's the beauty of this art world, is you don't have to be limited, and I don't want to be. So hopefully people allow me to like kind of spread my wings a little bit.
Well, it looks like with the Big Door Prize, you could end up having a long running series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this thing could go 5-6 years.
Yeah, and maybe
Um,
in those type of scenarios, sometimes actors get to direct on that show. Like that's kind of how you learn a little bit more. So that's kind of on my board of things to do, and like, you know, wish list and whatnot.
but you'd also like to really produce at the same time, if
Yeah,
you could.
yeah. I feel like I have a lot of like stories that I want to tell, and things that just I've always been kind of nervous, I guess, or maybe not feeling like I had the right to go there yet. But now I'm just like, you know, I feel like I've earned a little bit of respect in a listening ear nowadays in this industry, because I feel like I've been around long enough. So yeah, I think I'm ready. And I'm around so many women and other people that get to inspire me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm amazed. Like David West Reed, he's done everything from television to, he's got Broadway. He's like, it's amazing to watch him. And then with Robin Thede on the Black Lady Sketch Show, just giving opportunities to so many women of color to break barriers, like our director being the first Black woman to win in that space, in that category for an Emmy nominate, for her Emmy win, as well as our editing team. So it's just nice to kind of be around that energy of feeling like this. It feels like this new renaissance in a way, of like everyone that I'm close to, we're rooting. I've always rooted for everyone, but it's great to actually see that hard work paying off. I know so many people working both in front of and behind the camera. I tease like I need a part-time job just to support all of my friends in the industry, but it's such a beautiful thing that it's safe to celebrate yourself now, because everyone else is working and you don't feel like it's a gloat, you know? So that's kind of the space I'm in, that I just am always just like a proud mom, even though like I had nothing to do with anyone's career. But it's just fun to see people that you've been in acting classes with, or you taking a writing class or whatever that case, and it's like, look at us, we're doing it, and it's just great.
Fantastic. Well, Gabrielle, I think that's all the time we have today. You can catch Gabrielle Dennis in all 10 episodes of season 1, first of 2 seasons of the Big Door Prize, currently streaming on Apple TV Plus. Good luck this Emmy season, and thanks for visiting with us at
Thank
Gold Derby.
you.